Hello, and welcome back to the Digital Education Masterclass. I'm Dimitris Noukakis from EPFL in Switzerland. In this module, we will first review the different types of educational content that are widely available online. Then you will learn where to find quality digital educational material and develop a good grasp of the conditions of its usage under the proper copyright license. In the second part of this module, you will have a chance to work on the lesson plan you developed in the previous module and learn how you can best integrate third-party educational material into your own courses. First of all, we would like to go quickly through the various types of educational material you can find on the internet. Some mirror the traditional printed media, such as books, mostly as PDF files, electronic textbooks, academic journals, videos, pictures, wikis, blogs, and tutorials. And some reflect the opportunities provided by the digital environment, such as simulations, animations, quizzes, learning objects, etc. The first would be mostly used in transmissive context, whilst the latter might be used to introduce some degree of interactivity for the learners. For instance, an online quiz with automated feedback may be made available to the students as a formative assessment, or a simulation allows learners to test their ideas in a controlled environment. As there is a wealth of educational content available in different formats, we suggest to adopt a systematic approach and assess them according to several dimensions. For instance, the dimension of quality, which often comes down to considering the authors and their academic affiliation, but also the process of publication. Has the content been through a peer review cycle? Has it been validated by an academic authority? Or the dimension of availability and accessibility over time, which is linked to the organization that distributes the content. Or yet, the dimension referring to the rights given to use, update, repackage, and reshare the content, which will then define how useful is it for your own educational project. When we think of using a textbook or an educational video to build or enrich a course, it's worth taking some time to assess them along these axes. Let's consider the classification of the content available online by its distribution and usage rights. For our purpose, we will consider just two cases: open educational resources and copyrighted material. What is open educational resources? A widely accepted definition for OER was formulated by the Hewlett Foundation as follows. Open educational resources are teaching, learning, and research materials in any medium, digital or otherwise, that reside in the public domain or have been released under an open license that permits no-cost access, use, adaptation, and redistribution by others with no or limited restrictions. OERs come with the so-called 5R permissions. First, retain the right to create, own, and control copies of the content. For example, download and keep your own copy. Second, reuse the right to use the content in a wide range of ways, like on a website, in a presentation, in a class. Third, revise the right to adapt, adjust, modify, or alter the content itself, for instance, translate into another language. Fourth, remix the right to combine the original or revised content with other material to create something new, like combine existing video sequences with new learning activities. And fifth, redistribute the right to share the original content, the revisions, or the remixes with others. Post a copy online, for instance, or give it one to a colleague. There are two different types of OERs, and they are found in different kinds of repositories. The so-called big OER and little OER. Big OER are the result of large institutional projects, such as MIT OpenCourseWare and OER Commons. They are produced using high-quality production methods, and the educational materials have been curated and endorsed by the academic institution of origin. They are distributed through dedicated portals. Little OER are produced by individuals or small groups using lower quality standards and are shared through a range of third-party sites and services. Copyrighted material is, on the opposite, original work that cannot be used in any form without the explicit authorization of the original creators or the copyright owner. A few decades ago, most of the educational materials and scientific literature, such as academic textbooks and journals, were published under copyright law. For university lecturers and students, access to this material was possible either through the library or through direct purchase. Usage of copyrighted material for educational purposes is possible provided proper authorization has been granted by the copyright holder or under the fair use case. The former may often involve payment of a fee or royalty, whilst the second may be for free. So where to find all this educational content? OER is readily available on the internet, though it's not always easy to identify the best possible sources. A list of valid repositories with the access address is provided in the complementary material. These include repositories such as OER Commons, Merlot, MIT OpenCourseWare, Khan Academy, Project Gutenberg, and YouTube educational channels. As you will see, some of them contain authoritative works and are more prone to be used with little alteration, but with the purpose of local adaptation, while some others are more prone to be used in an aggregation approach and mixed with other available resources to create new lectures. For example, a course from MIT OpenCourseWare may be taken as a whole to work with a class in a flipped classroom configuration. On the other side, a single video from YouTube may be used to illustrate a physical phenomenon, such as gravity or friction, as a complement to the theory presented in class. To complete this section, we will ask you to do two individual assignments. First, spend some time to explore the OER repositories, understand the purpose, the structure, and the kind of educational material they offer. By doing this, try to note down the level of granularity of the educational material offered in each of them. Second, identify two specific OER, one big and one little, that are related to your own courses. Study them carefully and assess their quality, integrity, accessibility, and potential use for your own purpose. These activities should help you navigate through the various OER repositories and identify the most useful ones for your needs. Enjoy the exploration and see you soon.